Hello and welcome back to your mat. Today our practice is going to work with self-compassion and awareness. So through our movements, through our practice, we're going to work on those elements. When we can have compassion for ourselves, we are much more likely to have it for other people, those that we care about deeply, those are acquaintances, and even those that maybe we dislike or are enemies of ourselves. That one's much harder, of course, but when we can have that compassion, we are much more willing to give it out to other people. And so today's class, we're also going to be looking at awareness. So we need to be aware of and have compassion for ourselves when do we need more motivation? Do we need more energy? Or do we need to release and rest? We need to be able to be aware of that and then have the compassion to say, okay, that's what I'm going to do today. So we're going to explore both of those today in today's class. We're going to start with um, kind of strengthening and empowering ourselves a little bit through a couple of poses, and then we're going to go down to the ground and do a little bit more restful and easeful poses. So we'll do a little bit of both. So you won't need any props for today's class, just yourself and the mat. And we'll start with a quote by Patanjali. Be happy for those who are happy. Have compassion towards the unhappy, and maintain equanimity toward the wicked. That last one is the hardest, of course. So we'll get started. We're going to go ahead and stand up here. So we'll start with a little bit of movement and kind of what I call the empowering poses. Just a few. It's going to be a short class. But we're going to start in, going to have a wide stance here with both of our feet turned out about a 45-degree angle. Now you have to play with the width that you want here. I'm going to go pretty wide, but you may be a little bit closer in. Just play around with it. And we're going to have, like I said, our feet are turned at 45-degree angle, and then we're going to bend in the knees. We're going to come into this kind of maybe like a football squat. It's called goddess, it's called temple, it's called a couple of different horse stance. It's got a lot of different names. But you'll notice here I'm mostly at a 90-degree angle. The deeper I go, then it's going to be a little bit more challenging. The more upright I am, a little less challenging. So find having compassion for yourself. Find what is good for you. If it's going to help strengthen you a bit, maybe give you a little challenge, but not overdoing it here. You can have your hands on your knees to begin with if you'd like, or you can have them in prayer, whatever is going to work for you. And we're just going to stay here for just a few breaths, just getting used to this pose, because we're going to move from this pose into another pose and back into this one, so actually through this pose. So go ahead and get yourself comfortable here. Feel those quads working, feel your feet ground into the mat, and feel the compassion for yourself. And hopefully for me, as I'm leading you through this class, and you might be going, I don't like this pose. So from here, we're just going to come into what is called skater, but we're not going to go all the way down. We're going to do a higher skater pose. So what you're going to do is you're going to straighten out the left leg, and we're going to come over into the right. So you're going to keep that one bent. And again, you may have to adjust your stance a bit here to find what's going to work for you. So my left leg is straight, my right leg is bent, and then I'm going to come through this pose and go to the other side. So we're just going to be moving back and forth between those two poses there. You can have your hands on your legs. You can keep them up in prayer to make it a little bit more challenging as you go from each side. Right through there to the left side and to the right. Remember to breathe here. So find what is going to work for you and come to your level of where you'd like to be. We're not going to go really low in this one because we're moving back and forth. So we're going to stay more upright, moving side to side. You really should start feeling that in your legs, working through your legs. Again, you want to make it more challenging, hands up. Try to stay upright in your torso. Try not to lean too forward. Try to stay upright, going back and forth from side to side. Straightening one leg, coming over to one side, and then straightening the other and going to the other side. And you can stay and linger in that for a little minute if you want to. We're going to do this for another round or two. Breathing here. And again, you can stay for a moment if you like. Come through and stay on the other side if you like. So let's go 2 more on each side. And then go ahead and stay. When you come back upright, go ahead and go to your right and stay there for just a moment. Really feeling the length of that left leg, nice and long and straight. Come back through your horse stance here. And then go ahead and straighten out that right leg and come to the left and hold there for just a moment. You should really feel that work in your legs. And then come back through. Sink really nice and deep here and low. You can have your hands on your your legs if you like, or to make it more challenging, another breath, hold it there. I know it's really burning the legs, and stand all the way up, straighten those legs out. Go ahead and heel toe and bring your feet together. And just stand here for a moment, close your eyes. Notice how the lower body is feeling. Should be feeling some power and some strength there. Now we're gonna work on the upper body a bit. So go ahead and come to all fours. From all fours, go ahead and plant your hands, tuck those back toes, lift your hips up and come into downward facing dog. And go ahead and get comfortable in this pose for a moment. So go ahead and pedal out your legs, especially if this is your first down dog of the day. Pedal out the legs, really bring those hips up high, breathing here while you're doing this, in through the nose, out through the nose. And then when you feel right, feel good, go ahead and sink back towards your heels there and go ahead and come to stillness for a moment. A nice inhale there and exhale. On the inhale, we're going to ripple forward. We're going to rock forward into a high plank. Now, you can always stay more upright, so if plank itself does not work for you, if this does not work for you, high push-up doesn't work for you, you can bring your knees down, or you can just stay a little higher up. Because what we're going to do from here is exhale back into down dog. So we're going to inhale to plank, or whatever version of plank is working for you, exhale back to down dog. So you're not going to stay in plank very long, but we're moving back and forth between those two poses. So go at your own rhythm and your own pace. You can go fast, you can go slow, but remember to breathe. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale up to downward dog. Keep going through those two poses at your own pace for several rounds. If you're choosing to put your knees down on the ground, this will be a little bit more work because you will have to bring your knees back up to come back up for your down dog. So just keep that in mind. But you can always do that too. So if you want to rock forward, you can just bring your knees directly down and then back into downward dog. So go ahead and do a few more rounds. Plank to down dog. Remember, if you're in your high plank, don't sink down. You want to stay upright here. And if you push through your feet, put more of your weight back in your feet, that'll help too. Helps take some of the pressure off your wrist. 2 more rounds. Don't forget to breathe. And then we're going to end up in down dog and stay there for a breath or two, noticing how you feel in this pose. Go ahead and drop the knees down. All right, now we're going to transition toward the other half of the class. So we've had our strengthening and empowerment. You should feel nice and strong and like, all right, the legs, the arms. Now we're going to go ahead and come forward onto our stomachs. And we're going to do a little combo to kind of switch gears here. So go ahead and have your hands next to your chest, your shoulders, underneath your shoulders. Sorry, I cannot think. Forehead on the ground and your elbows tucked in. And on the inhale, you're going to come up into a nice high cobra or medium cobra or even low cobra. So pick that variation. So it might be here, and that might be all the way up. Find your variation of cobra. Exhale, release down. And then inhale and come up and back into child's pose. So go ahead and bring your big toes to touch. Your knees can be wide here if you like. And relax back into a nice child's pose. So your forehead will come to the ground. We're going to stay here just for a moment for each of these. And then what we're going to do is move between those two poses. So take a nice inhale and exhale. On the inhale, come on forward. Come down to your stomach, however you like to get there. And exhale there. On the inhale, lift up into your cobra. Exhale, and this time we're going to exhale and just go directly back into child's pose. Inhale forward. And exhale down. Inhale, come up to your cobra pose. And exhale back into child's pose. And keep that pattern going. Inhale. Exhale. Come down to the ground. Forehead to the ground. Inhale into cobra. and exhale back to child. So go ahead and keep doing that at your own rhythm and your own pace for a few rounds. Going between child's pose and cobra pose. This is also a bit strengthening too because of the cobra pose, so we're just transitioning in between the empowering and the strengthening, and then we'll be moving on to the restful poses. So it's important to really pay attention to what our body is calling for. We need to be aware of it. We need to have enough compassion to say, you know what, today I just don't have the energy level to do a really dynamic flow class. Maybe I need something else. 2 more rounds. And we're going to finish up in child's pose. Go ahead and lie back or come back into child's pose, I should say. Stay here for a couple of breaths and notice how you feel. And then come on up. And we're going to go ahead and swing our feet forward. And now we're going to come into a nice, stretch your legs out long on the mat. And we're going to do a little seated forward fold, and then we're going to open up the chest also. So we're going to do a few rounds of that. So I've got my legs out in front of me. If you'd like, you can roll up your mat if you need to prop up your seat a little bit more. Go ahead and sit up tall, and you can have your feet wider if that works for you, if you're really tight. We're not going to come all the way down here. So sit up nice and tall. Inhale, and then exhale, and just come forward any amount, trying to maintain a nice straight long back. So we're not trying to round right in, we're just trying to come up out of our seat. If you're really rounded, just go stay upright for now. So that's our exhale there. We're going to exhale into our forward fold. Inhale here and stay for another exhale. And then we're going to inhale and come all the way back up, and then place your hands behind you and just open the chest up and look up. And exhale and stay here for just a moment. Inhale, back to center. And the exhale, drape forward. Come forward any amount. You may be here. Inhale, come back to center. Sorry, in. And then come on back to your, open your chest. So we're going to exhale and inhale here. Inhale back to center. And exhale, fold forward any amount. So move between those 2 poses at your own pace. Inhale back to center. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, open up the chest. And exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale, fold forward. Let's go a few more rounds. And then when you end up with your chest open, stay there for just a moment. And then from here, go ahead and lie on your back. Lie back down. Go ahead and hug your knees into your chest. And from here, go ahead and bring your knees up to about a 45-degree angle, or actually more 90, I'm sorry. So you're going to be 90-90 here. So your feet are up in the air, your knees are right above your hips. And then you're just going to simply go over to you're going to take both of your knees over to the right. Go ahead and let them touch ground if you like, or hover if you want to make that a little bit more challenging, although we're trying to go for a little bit more winding down and restful here, but you could make it more challenging if you like. Inhale back to center and exhale to the left. We're going to move between those 2 poses. So inhale back to center and exhale over to the right. Now your hands can be anywhere you'd like. They can be on your legs, they can be on your mat, on your body, out to the sides. Inhale center, exhale left, knees to the left. Inhale center, exhale to the right. Inhale center, exhale to the left. Keep going. A couple more rounds here. This nice twisting motion helps to wring things out, release the spine. It's also signaling to the parasympathetic nervous system to come online, which is the opposite of the fight or flight. And then when you find that both of your knees are over to the right, leave them there for a moment. And we're going to linger here for just a moment. So go ahead and if you'd like, stretch your left arm out and look out to the left if you'd like, or look straight up. So today's class is about compassion. But the basis of yoga, one of the very first steps in the yogic path, is this concept of nonviolence. And today I chose compassion as a way to think about nonviolence. So nonviolence can mean a lot of things, but having compassion for yourself, for those around you, for all living things around you, has a profound effect on not only you, but everything and everyone around you. Go ahead and switch sides, come up, bring both the knees over to the left, your right arm out to the right. It's an important concept in yoga, and it's an important concept just in general and in life. And when we can apply that to ourselves, to those that we love, to those that are acquaintances, maybe someone you see at the bank or the grocery store every week, and also when we're finally able to apply it to those that we dislike, true freedom can come from that. Go ahead and hug your knees into your chest. You can rock yourself up, or you can stay lying down. If you'd like to have a little shavasana there after that, letting the effects of this practice and the message of this practice seep into all of your cells and into all of your body. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this class was helpful in helping you cultivate self-compassion for yourself and ultimately off of the mat to everyone around you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.